Welcome to Bed Crime Stories Podcast. I'm your host, T, and if true crime is your jam, and like me, you enjoy delving into unsolved cases, trying to figure out who done it, please consider subscribing. Also, if you enjoy my videos, please hit that like button. One of my subscribers recently asked me if Lori Vallow could be locked up until she produced the children. Why can't the same thing happen with Candus Bly? I thought that was a valid question, so I'm going to try to answer it as best I can. Lori Vallow, in case you don't know, is known as the Doomsday Mom. She's also been called a monster and a cult mom. After her two children, 16-year-old Tylee Ryan and 7-year-old JJ Vallow, vanished in September of 2019, Vallow was accused of killing them. A series of bizarre and disturbing events occurred before the children suddenly disappeared into the ether. I'm going to give you the short version of events because it's a very complicated case, and I want you to see the chronology of events, what happened before Lori Vallow was finally arrested. In July of 2019, Lori's husband, Charles Vallow, from whom she was recently estranged, was shot dead by Lori's brother, Alex Cox. Cox told police that Lori and Charles got into a fight and that he had to protect his sister. Supposedly feeling that he and Lori were in danger, Cox pulled the trigger and shot Charles Vallow twice in the chest. An autopsy report suggests that Charles was on the floor when the second shot was fired. In early September of 2019, Lori Vallow moves to Rexburg, Idaho, to be close to her lover, Chad Daybell, a married father of 5 who's also an author of a series of doomsday novels generally believed to be quite mediocre. Daybell and Vallow were convinced that they were picked to be the leaders of the 144,000. The 144,000 are composed of 12,000 out of every tribe of Israel. These are the representatives who will be, according to Joseph Smith, ordained to assist others in their quest for exaltation. The 144,000 will become members of the Lord's heavenly church, the church of the firstborn. I don't want to go into further details about all of that because I'm not an expert in it, and that's not what we're covering in the video. But I wanted you to have an idea of the mission that Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow, in their minds, believed that they were on. Now, on September 8th, Lori's daughter Tylee Ryan is seen for the last time in a photo taken at Yellowstone National Park. She's never seen by a third party alive again. Only Alex Cox, Lori Vallow, Chad Daybell, and possibly some of their close associates know that Tylee is gone at this point. The police are not alerted. Tylee is never reported missing. She will later be found deceased on Chad Daybell's property. Whoever helped come up with the plot and carried it out didn't want anyone to know that Tylee was missing for obvious reasons. It's that person or persons' dirty little secret. Of course, there are others around the couple who may have known, but they're not talking. The morning after Tylee is last seen by anyone other than her mother, her uncle, and Chad Daybell, investigators say that her uncle Alex Cox, his cell phone GPS, placed him in Chad Daybell's backyard for 2 hours. 14 minutes after Cox's GPS showed him leaving the Daybell's property, Chad Daybell texted his wife Tammy at work. The text read as follows: "I spotted a big raccoon along the fence. I hurried and got my gun, and he was still walking along. I got close enough that one shot did the trick. He's now in our pet cemetery." End quote. No matter that raccoons are nocturnal and wouldn't have been out during the day. About 2 weeks later, on September 22nd, 7-year-old JJ Vallow suddenly disappears. friends of Lori Vallow, Alex Cox, and Chad Daybell, a lady named Melanie Gibb, and her boyfriend David Warwick were staying with Lori that weekend. David Warwick told authorities that he saw Alex Cox carry little JJ into Lori's townhouse, but the next morning, according to Warwick, when he asked to see little JJ, Lori told him and Gibb that JJ was being a zombie and that Cox had taken him away. No one alerts the police about this, and no one tells JJ's adoring grandparents either. Guess where Alex Cox's cell phone shows him the following day? That's right, back in Chad Daybell's backyard. This time, Cox is only there for 17 minutes. On October 19th, 2019, Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy, suddenly dies. The couple's son, Garth Daybell, said that his mother, Tammy, died in bed and that his father, Chad, called 911. No autopsy was done on Tammy, and the coroner told the Daybells that Tammy's death appeared to be from natural causes. Tammy's kids believe this because they say their mother's health was poor prior to her death, although there doesn't seem to be any actual evidence of this, and Tammy was said to be training to run a 5K. Now on November 5th, 2019, just about 2 weeks after Tammy died, Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow get married on a beach in Hawaii. As they frolic around the beach in their white wedding attire, they smile like Cheshire cats and strum on ukuleles, looking like a bunch of jackasses. Later that same month, JJ's grandmother, Kay Woodcock, asked the police to check on JJ's welfare. Woodcock was concerned because she hadn't been able to see or speak to JJ in months, which was very unusual. This is when the police get wind of the fact that little JJ Vallow is missing. The police visit Lori, and she deftly lied to them, claiming JJ was in Arizona and staying with that friend of hers, Melanie Gibb. When the police called Gibb to verify this, she wasn't forthcoming. Later, Gibb called the police back and told them that JJ wasn't with her. When the Rexburg police attempted to locate JJ, investigators realized that his sister, Tylee Ryan, was also missing. A nationwide search for both children was then launched. In December of 2019, as investigators searched for the kids, Chad Daybell and his new bride headed back to Hawaii. See, Chad had money from the life insurance policy that he had on his newly deceased wife, Tammy, in his pocket. This was also when the Fremont County Sheriff's investigators began to think that Tammy Daybell's sudden death was suspicious. They exhumed her body to conduct an autopsy. Also in December of 2019, Lori Vallow's brother, Alex Cox, suddenly died, another death. His death was determined to be from natural causes. Just like Tammy's. There were a lot of people dropping dead around Chad Daybell and his new wife, Lori Vallow Daybell. After Christmas and New Year's Eve, on January 25th of 2020, the authorities served Lori Vallow Daybell with an order requiring her to produce her two children. When Lori failed to produce them by the set date, she was arrested in Hawaii. 2 weeks later, she was extradited to Idaho. Even after her arrest, Lori and Chad refused to say where Tylee and JJ were. Lori Vallow Daybell has been incarcerated ever since. It wasn't until June 9th of 2020, 4 odd months later, that Chad Daybell's backyard was searched. The FBI, Rexburg Police, and the Fremont County Sheriff's Office dug in areas of the backyard where Uncle Alex's cell phone had pinged. That's when they made the gruesome discovery of both Tylee Ryan's body and that of her little brother, JJ. So I think if we look at all the events that went down before Lori Vallow found herself in handcuffs, it becomes very clear that there was a lot more obvious shadiness going on with Vallow and Daybell than we've seen with Don Wells and Candus Bly. a lot of people close to Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow were dying, and I think that threw up the red flag. In Vallow's case, it was not just one missing child, but two, and then those three deaths. Charles Vallow, from a shooting claimed to be done in self-defense, but where overkill is a factor. And then two others that are suspicious due to the age and the health of the deceased, Tammy Daybell and Alex Cox. Then there's the quickie marriage between Daybell and Vallow, two people whose spouses had just died, and the list goes on and on. Even though we all know Don Wells and Candus Bly are being deceptive, they alerted the police that Summer was missing, and they've maintained from the beginning that their child vanished due to some outside element, forcing the police to consider several possibilities: abduction by either a stranger or someone Summer knew, disappearance due to the 5-year-old simply wandering off the rural property, succumbing to either the elements or an animal attack, or again, somebody spotting her out there and nabbing her, whatever other theories law enforcement are still considering. So I think the police in Summer's case maybe need more evidence before they can arrest either Don or Candus or both of them in connection with Summer's disappearance. And if they can't find the body, then they're going to have to rely on circumstantial evidence, which can be very powerful if there's enough of it and it's very compelling. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so if we have anyone out there who is, and who can say with greater specificity why, other than what I've shared in this video, Candus Bly hasn't yet been arrested, please do weigh in. Leave a comment and let us all know. And if said lawyer wants to have a chat with me about this, please also let me know. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories. Now you know the drill. Please hit that like button. Please subscribe if you're not yet a member. And please leave me a comment. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend.